Hi guys, how's it going today? We're in the CNC room, as you can see. Doing a couple short videos for you guys that I'm going to put in the can to release when I am in the process of moving. As many of you know, I have I've been lucky enough that I'm going to be moving to a farm very soon. So I'm not sure when this video will come out. It'll come out in a week that I don't have another video for you guys. I'm going to talk today about some of the podcasts that I listen to, just because I think it's kind of fascinating to find out what I'm listening to. Maybe you guys can suggest some videos or some podcasts that I'm not listening to. You guys can see on my YouTube, I think, who I'm subscribed to. I'm already on to most of the big names. Jimmy, and I Like to Make Stuff. I think it's I Make now. Formerly the Drunken Woodworker. I love his stuff. Some of the other podcasts that I listen to, and I'm looking at my podcast feed right now. Sorry, my lights aren't very good in here today. As far as podcasts, for makers, Reclaimed Audio, Making Geeks, love the Making Geeks group. I Like to Make Stuff, and the Woodworking Podcast. Those are the main maker podcasts I listen to that involve more of the woodworking and tech and 3D printing, that kind of stuff. Outside of that, my podcasts that I listen to, it's one by Jack Spirico called the Survival Podcast. I'm very much into the farm, the garden. He teaches a lot about agriculture and self-sufficiency and self-reliance. Kind of why I got into the maker movement, guys. He teaches a lot about becoming an entrepreneur, being able to support yourself, learning skills, and his motivation to learn skills and to teach yourself things and to be able to be not dependent on other people to help you do things, or to have, you know what I mean, right? So I got into woodworking because I wanted to learn how to fix basic stuff around my house. I wanted to be able to make a raised bed garden, to learn these basic skills, and it really paid off for me. So I got into CNC, something I wanted to learn. It was a skill, and it's a skill that I could probably translate into a commercial job if I really needed to. Another podcast I listen to is MakerCast. Did I mention them? I was listening to them, so they're not in the right spot in my machine here. Gary V. If you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, you really ought to check him out. Great for if you're starting a business or running a business. He's great for social media, great for getting your name out there. Several books, A Thank You Economy, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Many books, great information. Gives it all away for free, and is great in the social media world. I don't have a lot of time to spend researching social media stuff. Obviously, I'm new to YouTube. I'm new to a lot of platforms because, honestly, I don't like social media. It's not my thing. If I didn't have to be on Facebook, really, I wouldn't. It's only the I Like to Make Stuff Facebook group that really keeps me there. I hate Facebook. I really do. I'm sorry, Facebook, but we're not BFFs. I find Facebook is more drama than help. Who else do I have here? Mike Rowe. Just funny as heck. Etsy Jam. I'm an Etsy seller. I listen to Etsy Jam. They are a company that created a app that helps with keywords and keyword research and tagging for Etsy. They're doing all kinds of really cool stuff. If you're an Etsy seller, or if you're doing anything on online sales, great podcast to check out, and a great company. It's Etsy Jam, Jam, and their app and their programs that they provide are pretty phenomenal. And there's a free setting on their website if you look for it at the bottom of the page. Great way to get into it. And my last one is Etsy Conversations with Ijama. Ijama, you rock. I love listening to Ijama. She talks to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and really just shows and highlights how awesome makers are. And she talks to makers in every field and every walk of life, from all over the country, men, women. Basically, anyone who's selling on Etsy and handmade is a maker. They may not call themselves a maker, but they are. And Ijama really does a great job of bringing that group to life and showing off what they can do. Someday, I hope to be on Ijama's show. She is phenomenal and a great wealth of information and motivation. If you're an online seller or if you're on Etsy, Ijama has some great tips for getting on Etsy, for making your page what it is. And she even talks a little bit about linking your social media lives together to help create more content pushing out towards your social media. Some of you may have noticed that I had a lot of stuff going up there for a while with Etsy, and I was listing pages on bug. I was listing a lot of the stuff that I make on Etsy, and I wanted to give my customers a way to see what I was doing. I realized that you guys were not as interested in that because you weren't watching the videos, and my count was going down and my views are dropping really quick. So I've moved that stuff to a second channel. So you guys won't have to see that, but I can still have it there for my customers. The second channel I will link down below. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that today. And that'll be out there for you guys. So I guess my thought on closing for this one, for my tip of the week, would be, if you're doing different stuff on YouTube, the second channel is not that hard. Figuring out the monetization was the hardest part. If you have problems with it, there's some great YouTube videos on how to monetize both channels. There is some tricks to it, and there's stuff you have to do in a certain order to make it work. But well worth the effort, guys. So, questions, comments down below. I would appreciate if you guys would like this video. The thumbs up help me get found by other people. Do me a favor and subscribe so we can chat more often. And tell me what podcasts you guys like. It doesn't have to be a maker podcast. I work third shift 3 nights a week as a healthcare worker while I'm starting up my business. So I love having something to listen to when I'm working third shift. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.